This video is on Pinus rigida, pitch pine, and the Pinaceae, the pine family. The cone scale shape is flat, and the epithet rigida means stiff. So this species is native to North Carolina. You'll find it up in the mountains, and then it ranges all the way up into the northeast. If you're familiar with the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, this is that species that grows up there in that plant community. And the wood value here is pretty low. This isn't a really valuable timber tree. It's only used for things like pulpwood and fuel. Wildlife use is similar to loblolly pine, and in New England it used to be used for tar. So to identify this tree, you'll notice the first thing here is we're looking up the trunk. It has those epicormic branches that we saw last week on pond pine. So those two species are really closely related. Pitch pine and pond pine, they both have those epicormic branches where you have those shoots of needles that come straight out of the trunk. So here's one up close. None of our other pines do that, just pitch and pond. Pond pine, of course, grows down at the coast, and this one's usually up in the mountains. You won't see this planted on campus, but we're here at Shank Forest where they have some planted. And if we look at the needles, much like pond pine, they're going to be in bundles of 3, but these are much shorter. These are about half the length, about 3.5 inches max. Maybe slightly twisted sometimes, but bundles of 3 and fairly short. So none of the other 3 needle pines we've learned so far have needles this short. And if we look at the cone, so we have a couple cones down here. They're pretty much ovate in shape, really egg-shaped. They're often quite prickly. So you see those prickles along the edge of this one, those downward curving prickles. Not as small as Virginia or shortleaf, which we'll look at this week. We'll learn shortleaf this week. You learned Virginia last week. Slightly larger than those and smaller than pond pine for sure. Definitely egg-shaped though. The bark's pretty similar to some of those other pines we've talked about, with those broad plates and deeper furrows. But again, those epicormic branches really stand out on this one. You can look all the way up this tree, all those epicormic branches all the way up to the top. So that's one of your big keys for ID for pitch pine. Remember, 3 needles per bundle, about 3.5 inches long. And then those cones are pretty prickly. Definitely egg-shaped though. Remember, this is a mountain species in North Carolina. Pond pine will grow at the coast.